Hello everyone. Let us go to the last lecture for matrices. This is the fourth lecture for matrices. We'll be covering certain important matrices. You can see the contents here: involuntary matrix, idempotent matrix, periodic, nilpotent, and orthogonal matrices. These are going to be extremely important because some of them have very interesting properties which might be useful in certain questions. Let us go to them. First of all, involuntary matrix. What do you mean by involuntary matrix? The definition is this: A square is equal to I. Now, there are certain properties. There are three properties I have listed. But this is the most important. If you know the definition, you can derive the properties yourself. The first is S square is an involuntary matrix if and only if I minus A into I plus A is equal to null matrix. This is a null matrix, not zero exactly, a null matrix. Now, A square is involuntary. We have to assume this true. So, A square equal to I. Now, we further know that I equal to I square. So, we obtain A square is equal to I square. And hence, we can easily obtain this property. The next is the determinant of A is equal to plus or minus 1. Now, first of all, one important property of determinants, which I will be covering in the next chapter, determinants, is the determinant of A into B is equal to determinant of A into determinant of B. So, if A and B both are equal, so the determinant of A square is going to be determinant of A whole square. So, therefore, and determinant of I, we clearly know that it is going to be 1. Okay, I will be covering into the next lecture, don't worry. So determinant of, so we obtain, if it, by taking determinant of both the matrices LHS and RHS, we obtain determinant of A whole square is equal to 1, and hence the property 2. And the third is A is equal to A inverse. This is the most fantastic property of involuntary matrices. If anywhere in the question you obtain involuntary matrix or there is the word involuntary matrix, then this is one of the fantastic properties that anywhere you find the inverse being applied or appearing in the equation, just replace it by A itself. That simplifies the hell lot. So how to obtain that? A square, just multiply A inverse on the right to both. So you're obtaining A square into A inverse equal to A inverse. Right means on the right like this, and left would have been A inverse into A square. Here, so this is right multiplication, and you obtain A equal to A inverse because LHS is equal to A. So these are the three properties for involuntary matrices. Now let us go to idempotent matrix. Idempotent matrix says that A square is equal to A always, which means that if you take any power, A power n, you are going to obtain A itself, because let's say you can prove by induction. Let me solve for A cube. A cube would be A square into A, that is equal to A into A, that is equal to A. Fine, any power of A you take, you are going to get A only. Now, periodic matrix. Periodic matrix says that for K belongs to a natural number and K is the least possible such that K should be least possible such that A to the power K plus 1 equal to A. Then we say K is the period of the matrix. For instance, I have given an example here. Say A square equal to A square not equal to A, but A cube equal to A. Then comparing K plus 1 is equal to 3 and we obtain K is equal to 2. But further, if you analyze A to the power 5, it is going to be A to the power cube into A square, and this equal to A into A square, because here it is obtained. That is equal to A cube, that is equal to A. Here, so we obtain K plus 1 equal to 5, K equal to 4. But the period is going to be 2 because K is the least possible such that. So this is important periodic matrix, that K should be the least possible such that this property is satisfied. Now let us go to nilpotent matrices. In nilpotent matrix, for P belongs to natural number, and P is the least possible such that provided A to the power P minus 1 not 0 and A to the power P equal to 0, which means that you find A, you go to find A square, you continue till a certain number A to the power P minus 1, till which it is non-zero or not null matrix, but you obtain A to the power P as a null matrix. And after all, it is going to be null itself, because anything into null is going to be null than any matrix. So what I want to say is that till a certain point you obtain it is not null, and after that everything is null. So this particular instance, this P is said to be the index P, means the nilpotent matrix of index P, or P is the index of nilpotency. This is important. P is the index of nilpotency. So if I say that A is not 0, A square is not 0, and then A cube is equal to 0, then what is the index of nilpotency? P is equal to 3. Or it can be said that A is a nilpotent matrix of index 3. because till a square it is not 0 or not null, and a to the power 3 is going to be null matrix. Now let me go down, and the final matrix to cover is the orthogonal matrix. So in orthogonal matrix, first of all, it should be a square matrix. If it is not square, then it is going to be not orthogonal, first of all. Because orthogonal matrix, clearly, there is some orthogonal columns and all properties are there, which is not important now. But for orthogonal matrix, it should be a square matrix, first of all. Then if this set is satisfied, A into A transpose equal to A transpose into A is equal to I, means you multiply A and its transpose and you obtain the identity matrix, then we say that A is a orthogonal matrix. This is the definition. Now again, if you remember the definition, you can derive the properties given below. So definition is one of the most important part of this type of special matrices. Fine. So first property is that determinant of A is plus or minus 1. Now one of the properties that you would read in determinant is determinant of A transpose is equal to determinant of A. Now clearly take determinant both sides as we have done for invariant matrices. You would obtain that determinant of A whole square is equal to 1, and hence the property follows. The second is that product of two orthogonal matrices is going to be an orthogonal matrix. Now what it is saying that if it is saying that if A is an orthogonal matrix and B is an orthogonal matrix, then I have to prove that A into B is going to be an orthogonal matrix. Now how to do that? So first I will have to prove A into B is a square matrix, which is extremely trivial because A is a square, B is a square, both are same order, A into B is going to be same order. N cross N, N cross N, A into B is also going to be N cross N. So it is a square matrix. Now I have to show that AB into AB transpose equal to I, and you can try the other way around, AB transpose into AB equal to I. So what if I do AB into AB transpose? So what I obtain is that AB and then reversal law for transposes, B transpose A transpose. Now since B is a orthogonal matrix, so BB transpose is going to be I. So I obtain this equal to AIA transpose, that is equal to AA transpose, because A into I can be written as A only, that is equal to I because A is also orthogonal. So I obtain AB into AB transpose equal to I, and clearly you can similarly prove that AB transpose into A into AB is going to be identity matrix. So second property is also clear. The third is the inverse of an orthogonal matrix is the transpose of the matrix. Now what is saying, the inverse of the orthogonal matrix is equal to the transpose of the matrix. Now first of all, I know that A into A transpose is equal to I. So let me left multiply A inverse. So what I would obtain A transpose here, because I am multiplying left A inverse and here also A inverse. So I obtain A transpose equal to A inverse directly here. And the last is the transpose and inverse of an orthogonal matrix are orthogonal. Now if I can prove that transpose is orthogonal, then my job is done, because transpose and inverse of an orthogonal matrix are same, are the basically the same. Clear? So I have to prove that transpose is orthogonal. So given A is orthogonal, I know that A into A transpose equal to I. I can further write this as A transpose whole transpose into A transpose is equal to I. So if I consider A transpose as a matrix B, let's say, so I obtain B transpose into B is equal to I. And clearly this is one side of orthogonal matrix. Further, if I take A transpose into A is equal to I, what I obtain? A transpose into A transpose whole transpose is equal to I. Again, if I consider A transpose to be a matrix B, then I obtain B into B transpose equal to I, which is one part of the definition of orthogonal matrix. And since A is a square matrix, A transpose is also a square matrix. And I also proved the property that A into A transpose equal to A transpose into A equal to I. Therefore, what we obtain is that transpose is also orthogonal. Now by property 3, property 4 also implies that transpose and inverse of an orthogonal matrix are going to be orthogonal. So these are the 5 special type of matrices that I covered, and they're extremely important because they appear many times. Hopefully this was a nice lecture. It is really short also. And okay, so I guess this completes our matrix chapter. The basic definition of matrices, transposes, trace, symmetric, asymmetric, these 5 special type of matrices. Next time we'll be starting with determinants, and after that there is adjoint and inverse. Very nice journey is way ahead of us. Okay, so let's meet again. Thank you.